Are you feeling totally trapped by debt? I mean, do you ever look at your bank account at the end of the month and just wonder, where did it all go? Dear book lovers, welcome to another insight-packed book summary episode of Summaripedia. We are here to bring you more titles in less time. And in this episode, we are going to explore the important and highly practical lessons from the Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This is a book that promises a real, proven plan for financial peace. So let's just dive right in. So you might be asking, is this book for me? Well, Dave Ramsey puts it really simply. He says it's for anyone who is, quote, sick and tired of being sick and tired financially. If that hits home for you and you're ready for a plan that actually works, you are in exactly the right place. Okay, so the very first big idea we have to tackle is what Ramsey calls the problem with normal. Think about it for a second. Car payments, student loans, a little credit card debt, that's all just normal in our culture, right? Well, Ramsey's big argument is that normal is broke. And if you want to win with money, you have to be okay with being a little weird. This right here, this quote, is the absolute heart of his entire philosophy. He says, winning with money has almost nothing to do with being a math whiz or some Wall Street genius. It's not about what you know, it's all about what you do. That's right, 80%. It's not about the fancy spreadsheets or complicated budgets. It really boils down to your habits, your discipline, and the small choices you make every single day. The math part is easy, but, controlling ourselves, now that's the hard part. And this leads to what might be a tough pill to swallow, but it's also incredibly empowering. Ramsey says the biggest roadblock to your financial success. It isn't your job, it isn't the government, it isn't the economy. The problem is the person staring back at you in the mirror. But, that's also the good news, because if you're the problem, you're also the solution. Now, part of changing your behavior is you have to change your beliefs. So next up, Ramsey basically goes to war with what he calls conventional wisdom by just demolishing the huge money myths that keep so many of us trapped. Let's look at two of the biggest ones he just blows up. First, this idea that debt is a tool. We hear it all the time, right? Well, the truth is, wealthy people avoid debt like the plague. They're not building their fortunes on credit card reward points. Then there's the other big one. I need a good credit score. The reality, a credit score is just an I love debt score. It measures how good you are at borrowing money. If you don't borrow money, you don't need a score. What you need is a plan. And this is the key takeaway here. Your income, the money you earn every month, is your single most powerful wealth-building tool, period. Not debt. Every single dollar you send off for a car payment or a credit card bill is a dollar that could have been working for you, building your future. The whole goal is to get your entire income working for you and nobody else. All right, so we've got the mindset shift down, but mindset without action is, well, it's just a nice thought. You need a roadmap. And this is where Ramsey introduces his world-famous step-by-step action plan he calls the baby steps. And the absolute most important thing is you have to do them in order. No skipping ahead. You start by getting a small $1,000 emergency fund together, just so Murphy's Law doesn't derail you. Then you attack all your debt, except the house, with everything you've got. After that, you build a fully funded emergency fund. And only then, after that foundation is rock solid, do you move on to the fun stuff, like building wealth and giving like crazy. I want to zoom in on baby step 2 for a second, because the psychology behind it is just brilliant. It's called the debt snowball. Now, common sense says to pay off the highest interest rate first, right? But Ramsey says no. Pay off the smallest debt first, regardless of the interest rate. Why? Because you get a quick win. Paying off that first debt feels so good, it gives you the momentum and the motivation to keep going. This is what he calls gazelle intensity. You need to be as focused as a gazelle running from a cheetah. That's the kind of energy you need to bring to get out of debt. So this all sounds pretty intense, kind of countercultural. You might be wondering, where does this all come from? Well, to really get on board with the plan, it helps to understand the man behind it. So let's meet your financial coach, Dave Ramsey. See, Dave Ramsey isn't just some guy with a theory. This guy has been there. He actually became a millionaire in his 20s, and then he lost it all. Why? Because he was buried in debt. He had to hit rock bottom and rebuild his entire life from scratch. And in that process, he figured out the principles that he now teaches to millions. And that is exactly why his perspective is so powerful. This isn't just stuff he read in a book. It's a battle-tested, real-world plan that was literally forged in the fire of his own massive financial failure and his eventual victory. He's actually walked the walk. This is the rallying cry for the entire Total Money Makeover. It's really a promise. It means if you're willing to make short-term sacrifices that nobody else is willing to make, driving that paid-for beater car, packing your lunch, saying no to that fancy vacation, then later you will get to live a life and give with a generosity that almost nobody else can. Wow, okay, that was a lot. So, what are the absolute must-remember ideas here? Let's boil it all down and do a quick recap of the core lessons from this whole plan. All right, here we go. Number 1, winning with money is 80% behavior. Number 2, real change starts when you look in the mirror. 3, normal is broke, so you have to be willing to be weird. 4, your income, not debt, is your most powerful tool. 5, you follow the baby steps in order with that gazelle intensity. And finally, you live like no one else now, so later you can truly live and give like no one else. The only real question left is, are you ready for your makeover? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more impactful book summaries from Summaropedia.